Hey everybody, this is Craig Cottle, the Director of Nature Reliance School, and the biggest question we get asked for people that come to a survival basics class is, what do I need to bring? So we did a blog posting, and then we felt like it might be best if we did a video, so that's what we're here for. We're going to talk about the required and recommended gear listings for survival basics. To understand what you need to bring to class, you really need to have a decent grasp of what our training philosophy is at Nature Reliance School. And that is, fancy this, that in a class we want you to learn. So, that's why I can't say you need to bring this and this is the only thing you can bring or this is what you must bring, because we want you to learn and you know your level of understanding better than I do. So, I'm going to approach this from a beginner's perspective. There are some things that I require that you have in class. There are some other things that I recommend that you have in class, so I'm going to take a look at both. In this first section, we're going to take a look at the things that everybody that comes to class you must bring. Basically, they're primarily there for your safety. And then we'll take a look at some things that will make things a lot more comfortable for you. First and foremost, I want you to bring a basic first aid kit. Don't spend a lot of money on the basics, anything beyond the basics, because the instructors of Nature Reliance School are wilderness and remote first aid trained, and we have Red Cross, American Heart Association, and 2 or 3 other certifications in first aid. So, in that regard, all I need you to bring is some Band-Aids, antibiotic ointment, some hand sanitizer, and stuff of that nature. We will detail what you should have in a first aid kit when you go to the wilderness. It goes way beyond that. We will have that for you to practice with and learn from. Next, I want you to have a water bottle, and I recommend a metal water bottle. If you don't understand why I recommend a metal water bottle rather than a plastic one, then you need to come to class and you'll learn why. Next, I want you to have a fixed blade knife, not a folding knife, but a fixed blade knife. And it doesn't need to be some huge honking Rambo thing. It needs to be something close to this size right here. This is about 4 to 5 inches and about 5 to 6 inches on the handle. So that is a knife that I can do everything I need to do in a survival situation and a survival class easily. So, what kind of knife do I get, Craig? It doesn't matter to me as long as you come with a knife, okay? So that knife right there is well over $100. This knife right here is 10 to 15, more like 12 or something like that. So both of those knives will serve as functional tools in a class. Again, I don't want you to spend a lot of money before class, because after you come to class, you'll have a lot more educated opinions on what you should and shouldn't get. Next, I want you to make sure that you bring some paracord or bank line. You can get paracord at a lot of Army surplus stores. You can get it offline rather easily. You can get it off Dan's Depot when they're selling it. I don't know if they have it right now, but Dan's Depot is where I get all my supplies when they're available. Bank line is just catfish line that you can buy at any big box store. I highly recommend that. Last but not least, as far as requirement, I want you to bring some bug spray. Here's what the Nature Reliance School instructors have found through a lot of outdoor experience, is that a multifaceted approach on bug spray. We put permethrin on our clothing. So we do that before we come to class. We spray our clothing down and have permethrin on our clothes. And then we also have DEET that we'll utilize to and from classes and throughout the day. I don't put either of these products on my skin ever. They're carcinogens, and so there's a lot of problems that come out by continually putting bug spray on your skin. So we utilize that on our clothing and on our clothing only, and we have found that works really good for our purposes. So that is it as far as required. Okay, those are the required things. I don't care if you're high-speed survival instructor, you've got a school with thousands of students in it. I require everybody to bring those things and to utilize them during class. They are primarily there for your safety. First aid, a knife is going to be something you're going to use throughout class. Bang line is something you're going to use throughout class. Water bottle, I'm going to make you hydrate over and over and over again. Whoa, hello, somebody calling? Got class right now, I hope. And bug spray to keep the bugs off of you. So that's what is required of you. Now what I'm going to do is go into some things that's going to make life a lot more comfortable for you. All right, so as far as what you can bring that'll make life a lot more comfortable for you, I think the obvious discussion needs to be you need to bring some sort of shelter with you. That can be something as simple as a tarp that you utilize to cover yourself up and lay on the ground. If you've got a tent or you have a hammock system or anything of that nature, a camper top on the back of your truck, whatever, feel free to utilize those items during the nighttime hours. Because again, this is a camping trip studying survival, not survival. So you're welcome to use a tent and all the stuff that go along with it. Now, beyond that, the big question is food. We do not supply food for you. That's up to you to bring. A lot of people bring Mountain House meals or Coleman fuel meal or Coleman meals, MREs and stuff of that nature. But you should feel free to bring a cooler full of food, make sandwiches and cook hot dogs if that's what you're interested in. Cook some hot dogs over the fire. We'll have a fire each night. We won't have a fire during the day unless something crazy happens. But we'll have a fire at night so you can cook stuff over the fire. If you've never done that, then you know, something as simple as hot dogs. And we almost always eat s'mores and stuff at night too, just for fun of it. So bring the food that you would feel comfortable bringing on a camping trip. Okay. Now, next, bring a pack. Now, these are my packs, obviously. This is what I utilize on a regular basis. But you don't need to bring something that big and honking. All you need is basically a day pack, a little fanny pack, a small camelback, anything where you can, basically, this is what I want you to be able to carry in it. I want you to be able to carry your water, whatever water source you're going to be going out into the field with, and any supplies that you don't have in your pockets or on your belt. That'll include something such as a notebook. I highly recommend having a notebook available to take notes, and you can get them in all sizes and shapes, and you can just get a wire-bound notebook from a cheap big box store, as well as a camera. And you can use a camera phone, because you'll probably want to take a bunch of pictures of different things that we're going to do just to help you remember. Because again, the focus of this class is not for you to think that we're cool, not to have just an enlightening time. The focus of this class is for you to get educated, and I'm going to teach you during class, and I'm also going to teach you how to practice after you leave so that you can start to get better and perfect your skills. Now, as far as sleeping gear, a good ground pad is an invaluable tool. We also recommend you bringing a sleeping bag or blankets or something of that nature to maintain core body temp, particularly dependent upon the weather. Okay, so the weather will determine definitely what kind of clothes you bring. So pay attention to what the weather, and if you don't have any idea what kind of clothes that you should wear, you're brand new to the outdoor experience, then give me an email, info@naturereliance.org. Send me an email and say, hey man, I'm really lost, I'm brand new, and I'll do everything I can to make sure that I educate you before you get there so that you have as good and rich of an experience as you possibly can. So with that said, the other things that you can bring that you should feel comfortable bringing are camp stoves, like backpacker stoves. We'll have 3 or 4 there that belong to Nature Reliance School that we'll pass around and people can utilize. There's running water there, but I highly recommend you bring your own water as well. So you don't have to do that, but typically where we are, we're going to have running water and or access to something where we can purify water rather easily. So some of the things that you need to make sure of is that just bring anything that you think is survival gear, bring it, okay? Because here's the other part of our philosophy is that you've got to practice with your gear. You've got to. And that can either happen during class or that can happen after you leave. But one or the other, you've got to practice with your gear so you know what works and doesn't work. So you'll notice I'm not telling you to bring water filters, and I'm not telling you to bring certain fire building supplies and stuff of that nature. I'm going to supply all that for you to practice with. Nature Reliance School's already purchased a lot of that stuff. We've had people give us stuff and donate from different companies. So we get a great hodgepodge of different things that we can do and offer to you so you can practice with it, and when you leave, you'll then know what you need to buy. Okay? So our effort is this, is that we know that everybody has a limited amount of budget that they can spend on survival supplies. It's kind of like insurance, right? You're buying supplies that you hope you never have to use. So what we want to do is educate you in class so that when you leave, you can take your limited budget and buy exactly what you need instead of buying a bunch of stuff you don't need. That's what you're going to get out of class. So we also get a lot of people that say, hey, can I buy some stuff from you? I'd really like to help support Nature Reliance School. Your classes are the cheapest around, blah, blah, blah. I appreciate that and I understand that. Our classes, for the amount of knowledge the instructors of Nature Reliance School have that we are sharing with people, we are the cheapest, and from my opinion, we're probably the cheapest other than people that give it away for free. Okay, now the reason we do this is because we think it's important that people have the skills. But if you want to buy some gear from us, you can do that. You've just got to let us know ahead of time because we don't always keep stuff in stock. We only keep a few items here and there. So things like paracord, knives, water filters, stuff of that nature, we'll have some of those and we'll sell them to you at class at a huge discount to make sure you've got it when you leave if that's what you want. And you can also buy super cool t-shirts because if you wear this t-shirt, you're the coolest around, right? So anyway, you can buy those sort of things if you want to help support Nature Reliance School and what it is that we're doing, and we're happy to do that. We've got a few other things that we'll probably offer to you before class is, and you're going to have them before you leave. So you'll see what that is. But there's some simple things that we've put our logo on that we feel like you've got to have in your kit, and you'll see when you come to class what that is. And we appreciate you watching. If you got any questions, if I don't answer your questions here, then please shoot me an email and give me a call, and I'll be happy to answer your questions any way that I need to. So come on, join in and let's learn together.